Okay, here's a quick video, real quick video. I quit smoking using electric cigarettes. One's like this, one's like this, tanks like that. I don't know, I got more of them around here somewhere. Like this. This got me to quit smoking. Uh, for the first 14 days or so, I didn't have any cigarettes. Then I smoked a carton and a half while I was smoking these. I'd smoke some cigarettes in the morning, some when my batteries were charging, and then I got the new batteries so I wouldn't have to. Long story short, I finished my carton and a half, which I just happened to have when I got these. Uh, Bought from Smokers General if anybody's looking for good prices on mini cigars. And then I went strictly to these. Cut myself shaving. Well, actually, I had a big old zit there or something, and I cut the head off it. But ew, gross. Mom, he's talking about zits. Okay, so you can see all my bottles of juice behind me, over there, back there. That's all juice. I've got like 40 bottles now. I buy sample packs from Vape for 50 bucks for 20 bottles. Some of the juices suck, but some of them are really, really good. Cheesecake is delicious. Um, but I quit smoking using electronic cigarettes, and now it's been about a month and a half, and I've only had one cigarette. Somebody came over, I was like, let me get one of those, and it wasn't even that good. So, electronic cigarette, quitting smoking, and I tried without the electronic cigarettes, and basically I was going crazy. I was outside at like 2:30 in the morning picking cigarette butts out of ashtrays. I know some good spots. Uh, I had it rough. I know the good dumpsters for food. I know the good cigarette ashtrays. When I got out of prison, I don't know, I had some hard times. And luckily that's 5 years ago now, and everything's moving ahead. You can see my condo's got some stuff, and got fish tanks, and gonna buy hamster again soon, and get some more hamster videos out there. Maybe a new Sony vloggy, so I can do my animal videos and my anyway. Um, but quitting smoking using electronic cigarettes does work if you utilize it for what it offers. It'll offer you a quick treat into the electronic cigarette industry. With little amounts of vapor and a lot of sucking. This cartridge is kind of shot, so that's not fair to V2. They do put out a decent amount of vapor, but and you can dress them up with special skins, skull heads on your cartridges. But this is your step into electronic cigarettes. It'll get you used to the taste in your mouth. It'll get you used to what I call numb tongue. It'll get you used to sucking slow instead of hard like you do off a cigarette. It'll get you used to the flavors, the fact that there are flavors out there. And then you move your way up to a little ego battery. This is a twist. That'll give you more vapor, and then you work your way up to a mod. A mod is going to have 18615 battery, 18650 batteries in it probably, and that's usually a big steel thing that the batteries go in the bottom, and then you screw on your tanks, these things, onto the top, and that'll give you the most vapor. This is 3.7 volts. This is 3.2 to 4.2, and volts is how hot. Volts, the higher the volts, the hotter the coil will get, is the easy way to explain it. So this is running at 3.7, It's only heating up the coil so much. And that's a pretty good drag. That's some watermelon. Flavors are good with the E Cigs once you find the companies and the ones that you like. Um, this will run you 3.2 to 4.8 volts, and then the mod will run you anywhere from 3 volts to 6 volts. Um, there's a lot of details that go along with that, but that's just a quick explanation of what the stepping stones are. There's small voltage, medium voltage, and then the mod, which will be here next month, will be high voltage. And the mod is a big thing that you might not want to carry with you, so you carry the little cigarette when you go to Walmart and you're outside having your puffs while you're waiting for your cab or whatever. And this is good to take with you if you got those big pocket shorts on and you know you're not going to break your glass tank. Kind of a little bit of wobble in there, just the way it is. It's got a pivoting center, and that's why it does that. So the long story short is I quit smoking using electronic cigarettes, and odds are that you can too. V2 is a good company to start with. They're a little expensive to start with. Make sure you buy some Liquimax blanks, and those Liquimax blanks will allow you to fill from bottles of juice. You just take the cap off the Liquimax blank, you take your cap off of here, and you squeeze some juice in there, and then you recap it. You tilt it so the juice gets onto your wicks. You always want those wicks to be saturated. And you take your drags, and that'll give you the habit that you formed into an electronic cigarette habit. You get your nicotine through the juice, so you no longer need to suck on a cigarette or a patch or the gum. You get it directly from something that's like a cigarette, gives you vapor in your mouth, and when these cartridges are new, you get almost as much vapor as you would off of the big tank. Almost, not as much, maybe half to 2/3 as much. But the big tanks, when they're working great, they're just so much easier to fill. You just unscrew the bottom, unscrew the bottom of your tank, take that piece off. That's your coil. This unscrews, and you put a new one on there instead of having to throw away the whole tank like you do with this. And then you squeeze your juice around the edge, and you fill it up, and that's all it takes. Then you recap it, screw it back on. You get some gurgling sometimes, and you have to have Q-tips to clean out inside your battery. So be prepared to buy some rubbing alcohol, some Q-tips. Those are maintenance tools. And screw it back on and take a drag. And enjoy the vape. You get really good vapor taste from these little Liquimax blanks from V2. The taste will be amazing. It tastes better than with these big tanks sometimes. The big tanks will give you a lot more convenience and a lot more juice to carry. This tank, you'll probably refill 2 or 3 times throughout the day, so you may want to carry a little bottle of juice in your purse or in a little kit or in your pocket. You don't have to have the needle nose tip on there. You could just have the regular screwed cap on there, which is childproof usually, like this one's not. This one just unscrews. These are chemicals. They are dangerous to children. They need to be monitored, kept on top shelves. Try to buy childproof bottles whenever possible. Uh, do not let children play or suck on these empty bottles, whether full or empty. It is nicotine. Nicotine is a stimulant. It's considered, from what I'm aware of, quote, quote, what I'm aware of, to be not too dangerous to ingest with the vapor. But when you get it on your hands from the juice, you have concentrated levels, and therefore they consider that could be a little dangerous or hazardous because it is a stimulant, and it probably should not be something children are around or have access to. without doubt, children should not have access to any kind of electronic cigarette products at all. Uh, but as for quitting, I don't vape around children. I don't know. There are no real results out yet that have proven to me that it is safer than smoking, but I believe it is. It's just PG and VG, vegetable glycerin, and oh geez, PG always gets me. I always forget what it's actually broken down to. Some sweetener and some nicotine juice. Those are the chemicals. There's like 5 chemicals in it altogether at most, and that's all there is. Well, cigarettes have carcinogens. Uh, Cigarettes have tons and tons and tons of crap in them because they want you to stay addicted. You can't just be a tobacco leaf. That would be too easy and right. Um, so anyway, quitting smoking using electronic cigarettes is recommended. It's cleaner. You don't smell. You always got that little bit of E Cig juice on your hands after dealing with the stuff. So you wash them, you wipe it off. Your towel smells like E Cig juice. You keep a bunch of little towels by the sink or under the sink, and you're always replacing those towels once every 3 to 5 days to get that E Cig juice stink out of there. Otherwise, you're just rubbing it right back on your hands. Um, it's a pretty clean habit. Once you get used to it, you shouldn't have problems with the E Cig juice, but these things do leak. Sometimes this tank doesn't. This is a pro tank. It's a good tank. But a lot of tanks will leak. This will gurgle when it gets real low. It'll gurgle juice down into the center, and that's where I got to take one of my Q-tips, unscrew it, and just wipe out my center post so that way I can keep a good connection. And you can even see from there's some black on there. Anyway, and this is clean. I just cleaned this morning. You're always cleaning stuff, and it's a fun habit. If you're a pot smoker, pot is legal in Colorado, I hear, and Washington. But if you're a pot smoker in places where it's not legal, it's a great habit because you're always filling juices, you're always cleaning stuff, you always got other tanks that you want to switch on and off, and put this one on. You got little skull heads that come off, and you put your juice in. You're recharging batteries. It's a real busy habit. So if you're into drugs, I used to be. I don't anymore. I've been clean for 5 years off meth and about 6 months, 7, 8 months off of the K2. K2's bad stuff. Avoid it, people. Real bad stuff. Stuff will kill you. No joke. Um, so, uh, but it's good if you're into habitual type behaviors to keep you busy with accessorizing. There's always new stuff. There's tons of companies. The only thing they don't have is TV show and magazines. But there's enough websites to give you that on YouTube, and there's enough websites of companies to give you constant pages of viewing pleasure of what's out there, what you could buy, what you want to buy, what you need to maintain your units. These have replaceable coils, and you have to unscrew it, take off your bottom, unscrew your coil, and you end up with a little coil like that. You buy 5 packs of these for about $10, $7 to $10 for a 5-pack, depending on where you go. You screw it back on lightly. There's a little rubber gasket there. You want that nice and loose or nice and not tight. You don't want to be pushing your rubber gaskets. Don't mess with them. Just make sure it's on there with your finger tightness, and that's good enough. You put the coil in, check your gasket, make sure it's on there, screw it all back together, and you're ready to go. Now I got juice on my fingers. Smells pretty good. I kind of like it sometimes, but I got these rags, and I'll wash that off my hand as soon as I'm done with this video. So quitting smoking using electronic cigarettes is definitely recommended by me. This is only me. You would have to watch other reviews to see who else has had success with electronic cigarettes. From what I'm aware of, a lot of people have. So it is definitely a good, safe, good recommended way by me. Won't say safe because till those reports are out, it's all hearsay. Um, but it can't be any more dangerous than smoking cigarettes. That's for damn sure. That I'm pretty sure of. I'm not coughing as much. I'm not hacking up wads of mucusy stuff anymore. When I sneezed, I still get some mucus, but that's about the only time. Um, and the juices make it just a wonderful hobby. Um, you get cheesecake, you get banana, you get chocolate, you get tobacco if you just want tobacco. This is just a Marlboro tobacco juice. There's tons of juices out there, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and tons of vendors, all different prices. Avoid Mount Baker, they suck. Um, and Aqua Vapor has some good juice. Um, so give vaping a try. Check out V2, and I'll be doing a review on Eon Smoke next month or in a couple weeks when I get my stuff from them, and I'll let you know if they're as good as the V2s. The V2s were not represented properly here today. These are old cartridges. I barely use them except for when my battery's dead, and this battery lasts for forever. So that's a little bit of a better drag to show the V2. But the V2 puts out a decent amount of vapor. The batteries will last you for these cig lights. Mine lasts me about 2 to 3 hours from constant smoking. This will last about 2 hours. This is a shorter one. And they take about an hour to an hour and a half to charge. This will take about 3 hours to charge. And it screws into your computer, has a special charger, and V2 sells a whole kit for around 59 bucks. Look for the discount code, and I could give you one, and I get 15 bucks off every one I sell. But I'm not that complicated a person. I don't have that all listed yet, like some people do, where they just have it at the bottom of their video, and then when you click on the website and buy stuff, they get credit for it. I'll plan on doing that once my videos take off, if they do. But for right now, I just want to show products and help people to understand, like people have done for me on these videos. So V2 is pretty good. Uh, Ego Twist is pretty good. Pro Tank is pretty good. Liquimax blanks are really good. Not too fond of these little regular cigarette cap cartridges. They kind of suck. You got to fill them up constantly. They go dry really quick. You need to have like 6 of them with you if you want to last for like 5 hours. You probably want to have a bunch of cartridges. But the cigarette cartridges do work good if you've got this, which plugs into your computer. You can pick one of these up for anywhere from $10 to $25. V2 sells them for $25. Holidays, you can pick them up for around 20 bucks. With their 20, like now they have 20% off from Memorial Day, or 25% off. But this puts out 5 volts of power, which is more than anything I have here, and that's enough power for these little cigarette style cartridges to actually be able to work. They screw right on. You plug it into your computer. You can put your drip tip on and vape away. I'll do that real quick for you. Well, maybe you notice, maybe you don't. This one's kind of dried out, even though I just filled it yesterday with some juice. That's how quick they go bad, so that's why I'm not too fond of those. But these Liquimax blanks are great. These Pro Tanks with an Ego Twist is great. This will give you about 8 to 16 hours of vape time. Say 8, just to be safe. And that's with moderate vaping, moderate to heavy. Uh, If you're super heavy vapors, say ow, bit my tongue, say 4 to 6, and if you're light vapors, say 2 to 3 days. So you get some decent time out of the Zigo twist, the spinners, the winders, they're all the same thing, but the twist happens to be a cheap one. So I bought that, and I've been very satisfied with it. So quitting using vaping is is a much easier way to quit than to quit cold turkey or with the patch or with the gum. Thank you for watching.